Hello and welcome to another Talking To episode. I'm your host Teddy, and today I'm being joined once again by
Aiden.
And today we're going to talk about the DMT 2012 Season 2 Episode 24, Into Dimension X. So, what do you think about this episode briefly?
Well, this is one of those episodes in which everything goes out the window and it's just full on crazy. This was just completely different to what I was expecting at all. Like, we go to Dimension X, we get a fourth wall break, and somehow Mikey becomes somewhat of a genius, and somehow is better than before, and a lot has happened, and my mind's just, it's still trying to process what's going on. Like, Mikey's somehow good, a fourth wall break, and Dimension X, a lot to unpack in this episode.
Yeah, this episode has always been like one of those crazy kind of episodes with what we're doing here, and I think there is a lot to really enjoy in this episode with everything that we do with the Dimension X stuff we're exploring here, and it really adding in like a new elements of like mystery, weirdness into it, which I really do enjoy and love. But there's also a part of it that just feels like it's coming a bit too late into the season, and like not much of it really feels damn big of a threat. So yeah. Okay, so with the beginning bit, we do first start off with Leatherhead, trying to get out of the Dimension X and try to send the message to the Turtles. What do you think about that scene? And what do you think about Leatherhead returning?
That was Leatherhead returning. When I saw Leatherhead bust out of the Krang facility in Dimension X, I'm thinking, yes, he's finally returned. After all this time, we didn't know where he was, we didn't know what he was up to, and now we know he was captured by the Krang and being tortured for information. But no, I thought it was really cool to see Leatherhead again, and to see Leatherhead in Dimension X was very interesting, because I've only seen Dimension X very briefly from previous episodes, and I was left in the dark about Dimension X. Like, Dimension X is this weird and mysterious place where nothing is as it seems. But no, I got to really enjoy like experiencing Dimension X in like the full perspective of it, and I thought it was really cool. Very weird though, very different to what I was imagining Dimension X to look like, but a very odd and weird design choices that they made there.
Yeah. What do you think about like Leatherhead being there? Or like,
Leatherhead being
back and all that?
Oh. Well, Leatherhead being back, I think it's great, because to be honest, Leatherhead is one of my favourite characters thus far. Like, Leatherhead is just one of those characters, like, Leatherhead's just, trying to find the words for it, but Leatherhead is such a cool character. He's got his own backstory, he's a mutated crocodile, and he just loves to destroy the Krang, and who doesn't love destroying the Krang, right?
Yeah. I mean, with this bit here, I thought it was like a really great introduction into this episode with bringing Leatherhead back, which, it was pretty cool to see Leatherhead back, and I really did enjoy this like really dark like tone for the beginning bit with him going out and then getting electrocuted. But also at the same time, there was a lot of stuff which I did really enjoy with him like going back to his old ways, doing the rolling death roll thing. Really did enjoy that. But with that being said, also, because he's supposed to be decades old at this point, how is he still able to move that fast? So, yeah, but I thought this was like a really great introduction scene into this episode, with showing like all the mysteries and build up to it. I do feel like that maybe this like scene here would possibly benefited from being like earlier, and also like maybe this whole episode being earlier in the season to really build up that mystery, the threat and stuff like that. But I thought that this bit here, it set up everything perfectly well. So yeah, then after that, we do get Steve Toes watching the anime cartoon thing. What do you think about that scene there?
To be honest, I thought that was pretty cool to see them watch the anime cartoon, which we've been watching throughout the series with them. And of course, the thing that I took from that scene is Mikey's fourth wall break. Like, he said that, imagine that we are being watched through a TV, and there he was trying to break the fourth wall. Like, us as the audience, we're watching him through a TV, and then of course the turtles are watching a TV through the TV, and it kind of messes with your head. Like, it's a fourth wall break, something from like a Marvel movie or something, like it's Deadpool. Like, he breaks the fourth wall. He's trying to like include the audience. Is like, imagine we're in the Matrix or something ridiculous. But no, I found that really funny. Just like, oh my gosh, he's proper going for the fourth wall break right now.
Yeah, I always found it. I don't know, because I like it because of that, and like with the fourth wall break. And I think that, like, with some things, especially with the most recent Toll comics, with the Samuel Adventure stuff, when they have been breaking the fourth wall, it can work, but also when they do it a bit too much, it like breaks or like makes the whole thing bad. But I think with this bit here, it was just a nice simple joke that just works well enough, which I really did enjoy. And yeah, I mean, I don't have anything really bad to say about it. The only thing which like negatively got to say about it is, why did Mikey just pick the TV up and try to yank it from the wall with all the plugs? That bit there really annoyed me.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, why would he do that? Like, surely Donnie can just watch the tape by himself at a later date, you know? Instead of just destroying the tape and the whole TV. Like, now no one can watch the last episode of the anime, you know?
Yeah.
It's just Mikey being Mikey at this point.
Yeah. So then in the next scene, we do get to see Mikey sees like a big metal arm. What do you think about that bit there? Especially with what... Because I know that with you're going to have like a lot of theories about... What do you think about the metal arm thing with the Toll mech?
To be honest, I didn't really know what it was at first. Like, I thought, oh, it's just a crane to help him move some stuff around and all that. But, of course, when he said turtle mech, that's when I started to think, like, oh, what's this turtle mech? Is it going to be like Metalhead, or is it going to be like a Jaeger sort of thing from like Pacific Rim? Like, just some weird and wacky thoughts that could be a possibility in the future. But who knows with Donnie? Donnie can make anything at this point. As you probably well know, Donnie's like a genius. Like a genius. Like, he can make anything from scrap metal. He can build a rocket ship. He can build like weapons, bombs, you name it. He can build it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that for the metal thing, I do like that they are setting things up, and because I already know what it looks like, I think you're gonna love it. But that being said, I don't know if you questioned this, but how is Donnie gonna build it if it's that big and he doesn't have any like cranes, forklifts or anything like that, and he's doing it in the sewers? Where is he building it, and how is he building it?
At this point, I don't question how he's building it. I'm just going to say, like, I stopped thinking about that a long time ago, because it's going to mess with my head and going to drive me crazy just thinking about how he's going to build it, like, logistically. So, but to be honest, I don't know. It's Donnie at the end of the day, so we'll have to find out.
Yeah. So then after that, we do get to see, like, a Dimension X portal opens up and the orb turns on. And this is when Mikey goes through the portal because they don't know what to do. Mikey just wants to go in and save Leatherhead. What do you think about that scene there?
I'm not gonna lie, it's not one of Mikey's brightest moments, but he was stupid enough to destroy the Krang sphere, thinking he could interrogate the sphere as if it was like an actual person. It's like, where's Leatherhead? Like, just bashing it against the desk, thinking it will do something miraculously. But surprisingly, and of course, it doesn't work. He destroys it, and of course, then he has this rash idea to jump straight into a mysterious portal to a different dimension, which he doesn't even know that can support him, or like he can able to breathe, or he doesn't know what's going on, and he just dives straight through. I'm like, Mikey, what are you doing? Like, why would you do that? Like, one, it's stupid, and two, he could have died. He could have gone to a dimension where he couldn't breathe. He could have done to something hostile. He could have jumped straight into a Krang firing squad at this point. That's all we could have known at that point. So it was pretty stupid on his part. But luckily enough, he survived somehow. And surprisingly, he survived that long, which was another thing as well. But I'm going to talk more about that later in the episode.
Yeah, I mean, with this bit here, I mean, there's so many things about it. So, with the Mikey bit, yeah, it annoyed me. One, so stupid of him, like, bashing the thing on whatever it was, I think it was a car or something. I found that to be so stupid. Mikey going into the pool straight away, I understand why he did it, and you can't blame him for it, but at the same time, because he did it, it's just annoying and stupid that he does it. But with the breather thing, I don't know if you... yeah, so another thing which I don't know if you picked up on, but with the breather thing, the gas would have probably got out into the lair and into Splinter's room. Did they not think about giving Splinter a breather? Because he probably walked into that room eventually.
Yeah, to be honest, I completely forgot about Splinter at that point. I thought, oh, Splinter's probably still in his room. And then, of course, like you just said, the gas could have spread throughout the entire layer. And, yeah, at that point, Splinter could have just been, like, knocked out because of the gas or the air. The air could have been toxic. Like, we don't know. And poor Splinter could have just walked in that room and just become completely unconscious. And just potentially, like, die from the Dimension X gases and fumes and the air and the atmosphere. You know, it's just... I don't know. At this point, like I said, I stopped thinking about stuff like that a while ago.
Yeah. So then after that, we do get see the Turtles go into Dimension X. So, what do you think of Dimension X, like, overall?
Dimension X was not what I was expecting. I thought Dimension X was going to be on, like, this somewhat of a planet, or a planetoid, or a moon, or something. I wasn't expecting it to be in this, like, some sort of in-between space-time sort of thing. Like, there's nothing around it but except these small floating islands, and I really wasn't expecting how it would all work. Like, the gravity, and, like, the creatures of the planet as well, very weird. Like, there's a giant eyeball as a sun, or something along those lines. I don't know what I saw, but it was very creepy and weird to say the least. So, that's all I can say, just creepy and weird.
Yeah, I mean, I found that, like, with Dimension X is, like, another weird dimension, which I really do enjoy, because, I mean, with, like, Turtles, whenever they go beyond just New York or the sewers, so I do like it that they are exploring new places, and do like how very different and unique and very colourful and vibrant it is, and there's so much to really enjoy about it for how different and unique it is, and I just really want to, like, explore a lot more, because it does seem like there's, like, so much in there to really love. But also at the same time, it does, I don't know, there's something about it that just feels like that is not as good as what it could be. And then the gravity thing really annoys me. I don't know why, but it annoys me, because it just seems like they aren't really... I don't know, just something about it just feels like they weren't really committed to the gravity thing, because sometimes it was a big thing in the episode, but then sometimes it wasn't really there. And I think that, like, with a gravity thing like that, you need to be very consistent with it, but it just seemed like it was just like hit and miss. Like, sometimes they'll do it, sometimes they wouldn't. It just got a bit annoying. So yeah, so then after that, we do get to see the Turtles fighting this, like, ball monster thing. What do you think about that fight scene?
To be honest, that was pretty weird and cool at the same time. Like, it was this mysterious spherical creature, like, working together as, like, one single organism. And it was very weird. Like, we've never seen this before. And they're fighting a completely different foe, and they're going to have to completely rethink their book of engagement when it comes to these creatures in Dimension X. Like, completely different way of fighting, completely different way of thinking, but overall I thought it was pretty cool. Like, they got to experience the first hand of what these creatures can do, and what they can do, and what they can just and what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, I found that with this fight scene, something which I really enjoy, something which I feel like it tributes to the Dimension X stuff, which I feel like this fight scene is. I wouldn't say it's not like the best fight scene, but I think it's very creative and really fun. And I think that what adds to it is that it's just so unique that compared to every other character, monster, being, whatever it is, that a fight, it's something normal-ish or something which they've already fought before. Whereas this, where you get to see flying balls go around in space, fighting turtles, it's just so unique to this situation, which I think helps make this fight be so different and unique, which I think all makes it work so well. And yeah, I think that's like the best part about it, is just like how unique it is. So then after that, we do get to see the Stone Soldiers, and we do get wait, hang on, good a bit, lost my notes. Mikey, he shows up, and he gets to fight these big worm things. What do you think about Mikey now?
Mikey is, to be honest, he's completely different. Like, at first I didn't think it was Mikey. I thought this was like some sort of nomad vigilante who got stuck in Dimension X and has like been stuck there for many years. But when it was Mikey, I completely wasn't expecting it. Like, Mikey has become this nomad in Dimension X, and he's learnt the ways of Dimension X. He's learnt how to deal with the creatures, the pests, how to use the weaponry in Dimension X as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, no, I thought Mikey had completely changed from his, like, silly and, like, somewhat stupid ways from his past, and over these last couple of months in Dimension X, I thought he's, like, really grown as a character. Like, he's understood how backwards it is and how bizarre compared to his normal dimension. So I thought that was really cool, and to see him like grown in this dimension. Sadly, we didn't see it because the time dilation between the two dimensions, and of course, turtles in their own dimension, they were only there for a few seconds, but in Mikey's world, it was for a few months, at least a few days or a few weeks. So we know there's a huge different time jump there as well. So it was really cool to see how Mikey has taken the time and developed the skills to survive in Dimension X. And another thing as well, I'm really shocked that Mikey lasted this long in Dimension X. Like, I'm surprised he even survived at all at this point. That's why I was so shocked to see him. Like, I'm surprised he wasn't thrown in a cage in a Krang facility being interrogated for answers, you know? Really shocking.
I mean, with the Mikey thing, I really did enjoy how it progressed his character, made him into a different kind of Mikey, which I really enjoyed, make him like different and unique. And yeah, I was quite surprised that he did survive that long. And if you really think about it, he's actually now the oldest turtle, but yeah, they never addressed that. So I did find that kind of weird. But with the Mikey thing, as much as I like Mikey being this more mature character, knowing more stuff and all that, my biggest problem with it is that because you see at the end, it goes back to being his like normal regular self, where all that progression they went through is just wiped away and just goes back to being his normal self. But it just seems so weird that they would go back to that, because he doesn't really change much from going in like through dimensions or anything like that. So I find it weird that in like this episode he's like this character, like this whole completely different character, but yet when he goes back home, he's go back to normal, despite not really being much of a logical reason why. So I think that's the like most annoying part about it. It's just the fact that they do take away all that progression away from him, despite it not really being necessary. So I find that so annoying. But yeah, so then going into the next scene, we do get to see the Turtles fighting the Stone Soldiers. What do you think about that fight scene?
I thought that was pretty cool. To see the Stone Soldiers come back after so long, from like season 1, was pretty cool. And there's different versions of them as well. Like, there's one that breathes fire, and then there's one that breathes like, I don't know, ice perhaps, or blue fire. something along those lines. But I thought it was pretty cool to see the fight scene between the two stone monsters, or whatever you call them. But no, I thought it was really cool. And of course, Mikey taking initiative and jumping straight in to help out his brothers and figuring out how to defeat them, I thought that was pretty cool. But the only thing that I have to question about is, if he knew how to defeat them, why didn't he do so before they arrived? Why didn't he go into the Krang facility and break them out, like break out Leatherhead and do all of that before the turtles even arrive? Like, that's my one issue with that scene. Like, if he knew how to destroy and defeat the stone monsters and to get into the Krang facility and know how to use the Krang facility's network for his own advantage, then surely he would have been able to break out Leatherhead sooner.
Well, I think maybe it's just that he didn't, or I think it's just more the fact that he was getting all the knowledge for him to do it in this episode or something. I think it's just more the fact that he was waiting to like get all the information to do it. So I think that's more or where they're coming from. But the Stone Soldier bit, for me, it wasn't really so much my main problem with them, because I enjoyed seeing them here. It was really great, and to see there's like another one which is like really cool. But my biggest problem with this one is the fact that they make these characters feel weak. Like, compared to like the last season where the Turtles like struggled to defeat them, and I was only able to do that with the pool tool, the gun thing. And this this episode here, we do get to see Turtles fighting, and they're getting a little bit beaten, but Mikey just comes in and beats them up like within a few seconds. And I just feels like there's a part of it that just makes it feel like the characters aren't really that big of a threat anymore. It just feels like they're just there and a little bit of annoyance. I think that's my biggest problem with that bit. So yeah, but then after that we do get to see Mikey teams up with Leatherhead. Or what do you think about that scene there?
Mikey reuniting with Leatherhead, that was kind of a special moment for Mikey. Mikey was like, "Oh my gosh, Leatherhead, how you doing?" Like, and him seeing Leatherhead was quite a special moment for him and Leatherhead himself. Like, Leatherhead was thinking all hope was lost, that no one was going to come for him. And of course, it was nice to see the reunion of them, because they're like best pals. Like, they're like two peas in a pod, like they're best mates from the get-go. So, but no, it was really cool to see how Leatherhead has also aged as well, let alone Mikey has aged, but Leatherhead has aged quite a lot more. And of course, Leatherhead said as well, he's been there for many decades, so he's been there longer than any of them combined. So I thought that was pretty cool. And of course, it's referring to the time dilation between the two dimensions, between the normal dimension and Dimension X, which is also another cool thing to conclude in that as well. And to see how his skin's become old, it's become more dull over time. He's lost his vibrant colours. Of course, he has been in interrogation for the past couple of months, and you could see the life being sucked from him, but I thought it was pretty cool to see the two connect after a long time.
Yeah, I thought it was, I don't know, it was okay, but I don't know, something about the reunion didn't really feel, I don't know, I feel like because these two characters haven't really had much of a connection, like, properly, it just feels like it's just them meeting up again. It doesn't really feel like it, I hope you understand, like, where I'm coming from, where it's good, but there's a part of it that just feels like if it had a better connection, then this bit would be
a bit
like
rushed, basically.
Well, no, I wouldn't say rush. It just feels like there's not like a connection between the two characters, or at least like not like a good enough connection for it to be that emotional. It just feels like they just meet up again. It doesn't really feel that emotional or like begging with deal or anything. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. As well. I just feel like there's the connection between the characters isn't really there all too much. So yeah. So then after that, we do get to see the Turtles go down and fight all the different Krangs in the worm, or like in the place, and got to see Johnny making pool tools into different shapes. What do you think about that fight scene there?
To be honest, when they went into like the whole command center of the Krang's operation for like world domination, I wasn't expecting like the vast scale of their empire, like the whole Krang network. To be honest, I thought it was only just for a few dimensions, but to see all those portals there in that room was a scary thing to imagine. Like, the Krang are this powerful, and they can conquer any dimension. They've got the mutagen perfected now. They can go to any dimension and make their own sort of dimension away from their own dimension. And seeing them all come out this huge, like, manufacturing line, coming down towards the portals, I thought that was pretty cool too. But another scary thing as well, that they have this technology now. They have planned this for months upon months, years upon years, decades upon decades, whatever. And now they're finally putting it into action. But now the fact that Donnie and the Turtles and Mikey and all of that sort of side of things, they've put an end to it very quickly, sadly. Like, sure, the Krang has all these weapons, but they can't defeat like 5 mutated animals in their own home turf, and their plans have all failed again.
Yeah, I mean, but this bit here, it annoys me quite a bit, because I like the threat, but there's also something about it that just feels like it's not really that big of a deal. And I think the reason for it is just because one we know that the Turtles are going to win, they're going to stop all of it in this episode, which is good. But at the same time, it's a little like bad because, you know, that's the progress and all that. And then, even knowing that in the next episode the invasion is gonna be there, it just feels that what they're doing here is just pointless and all that. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I do like the fight scene. I thought it was really fun to see all the fights, and it was really great to see Leatherhead fighting properly with all the other characters, and really great to see Mikey really in his element. But I just feel like there's like parts of it that just feels like it's not really worth it because of all the stuff because you know, it's like, because I hope you understand where I'm coming from with this.
Yeah, I do see the point you're trying to make. Like, it was a bit pointless. It was like delaying the inevitable, but I guess they gave themselves some time to prepare for the up and coming attack. So that is another thing to consider.
Yeah, I guess. So then after that, we do get see the Turtles go back home. What do you think about that little bit there?
Seeing the Turtles return back home, and of course, seeing Mikey like drop kick Leatherhead into the home portal was pretty funny. It's like Leatherhead was trying to be the hero. It's like, I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna die saving my friends. And then Mikey said, "Hell no, that's not happening. You're coming with us." Drop kicks Leatherhead through the portal and almost onto the streets in broad daylight of New York City, and almost being spotted by everyone, but somehow he managed to grip onto the side of the building. That's another story. But no, I thought it was really cool seeing Mikey taking control of the situation and saying, "Look, we got 30 seconds, let's hoof it, you know, let's get out of here." But seeing him take that initiative to like try and save his brothers and jumping through the portal, and was just pretty cool. And also, I just want to say, the amount of skill and the precision aiming that Mikey had to do when he was trying to snap a bit of that power crystal off that generator in the Krang command post was incredible. Like, how? Like, the portal was closing, he turns around mid-air and launches his grappling hook at the piece through the portal that he cannot see and grabs the piece off. Like, that is some skill right there, if I must say so myself. Like, he managed to grab a piece of the power crystal, break it off, and cause a huge, massive chain reaction that destroyed the facility. Like, only, like, Mikey's Eureka moments, that's what I call them, Mikey's Eureka moments. Like, he has these moments of pure intelligence and pure skill, and then, of course, he goes back to the old silly Mikey 10 seconds later, you know? It's just really weird how he managed to pull that off.
Yeah, I mean, with this bit here, I do like it because of the skills, and I do feel like there's a part of it's just a little bit weird, because with this bit here, we do get to see Mikey do that, but it's a little bit, it's not consistent, because Mikey snaps that bit and it doesn't explode, but when Donnie took the bit off, it exploded, so I do find that to be very inconsistent, and yeah, but I think overall this bit here, it was like a nice setup for going into the final few episodes for this season. It'll just be like, yeah, are you ready guys? Let's do this. And I thought it was okay, but at the same time, because we know that the invasion's next episode, it does feel like this bit a little bit pointless just because they're saying, oh yeah, the invasion could be like any second, we don't know when it could be. Next episode is right there, so... but... yeah, what do you think about this episode overall?
Overall, I thought this was a really cool episode. I thought this is like a huge step forward within this storyline and in this universe of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it opens up to the world of possibility that the Dimension X is going to be a lot more prevalent in this series, and especially for the next series, I believe, like the next season, that Dimension X is going to become a more frequent thing for us to see and talk about, which is another cool thing, because we're seeing a new perspective, a new world, if you say, of this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle universe. It is a new and exciting thing for us to dive into and explore. Like, this is a huge pivot point for the universe.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this episode did like a really great job of setting things up and also exploring like a new dimension, which I really enjoy. But I feel like there's also a part that they just didn't really set things up properly, and I feel like the Krang storyline throughout this whole season has been pretty weak compared to like last season, where it was like something which they did build up throughout the whole season. Well, this season, it's been like 1 or 2 episodes here and there, and for the rest of us, it's been on Shredder. So I feel like the Krang stuff has just been pushed like far too back in like I feel like it's been pushed like far too like into the background. And now that it's finally into like the last bit of the season, it's just like, oh shit, what do we do? But I think like overall, it's a really decent episode. So yeah, do you want to hear some comments now?
Let's hear them.
Okay, so on YouTube, we've got Lunaster8703. They put, Mikey was acting like Leo, and he wants to show his brothers that he's a good member of the family and team. Yeah. AO9, they said, the Turtles only delay the Krang's plan for a few days due to dimensional time difference. That's why the final comes in next episode. Besides, the episode was a lot harder enough to cushion you for the heavyweight that is the final. My headcanon from the episode is Leatherhead can breathe in Dimension X. Oh yeah! How did Leatherhead breathe in Dimension X?
Wait, what?
Leatherhead is breathing in Dimension X without a breather. How?
Maybe he's just he may have been like adapted. Like, of course, he did originally come from a Krang facility, so he must have been like adapted to breathe a Krang atmosphere, perhaps.
But the only thing is that he was from Earth, like he was like a normal human alligator, and he was only in like the Krang base. You know, let's just move on. I feel like it's going to be something which we just really lose some.
Yeah, to be honest, it's going to be one of those moments, like, we're just going to be scratching our heads for hours and trying to figure out how he survived for that long without a rebreather or a respirator.
Well, Ninja Turtles 2012, Ninja Turtles 2012, they said, Mikey is now officially evolved turtle. Yeah, and they never bring it up ever again, which is a little bit disappointing. Okay, so for the the anime thing which I watch is foreshadowing some stuff for the next few episodes. So yeah. Okay, so this time the atmosphere converts were created by Donnie and called filtration units. It allows the turtles to breathe in Dimension X safely. Before Mikey leaps into Dimension X portal, he normally recalled a series of separatone memories of his shared moments with Leatherhead in the past. The first 2 scenes were still some Season 1 episode, It Came From the Depths, And the third scene was a still from the episode He's So Right. But the final scene was a previously unshown moment of Mikey and Leatherhead blissfully spooning asleep together on the living room floor. The once common in everyday photography, spar timing hasn't been a technical necessity in black and white photography for generations. In modern photography and film, the technique is mainly used in artistic fashion to reflect certain deep moods. Okay.
It's interesting to know.
A feminine, an instrument popularly used in old B-rated science fiction films and shows in the 50s, was played throughout the episode. This is the last 22-minute episode in season 2 of 2012 show. The unusual laws of physics or Dimension X, with tiny gravity wells and travels leap by faith from surface to surface, are surely similar to the equally unusual in-game physics of video game Super Mario Galaxy and its sequel Super Mario Galaxy 2. This is the first time someone breaks the fourth wall. In this case, Mikey. Okay. Okay, so for the cast for this episode, we have Donatello voiced by Rob Paulson, the Krang voiced by Noah North, Leatherhead voiced by Peter Larraire, Leonardo voiced by Dominic Cabrone, Michelangelo voiced by Greg Sykes, Raphael voiced by Sean Asantine, Captain Dash Coolstar voiced by Brian Bloom, Dr. Blip voiced by Scott Menville, Lung voiced by Noah North, Princess voiced by Mae Whitman, and yeah, that's it. Okay, so next week's episode is one which you're gonna love. Invasion Part 1. What do you think is gonna happen in that episode?
Well, I think it's gonna be the Krang that's gonna be invading, but I don't really know what to add on to that. Like, I can't predict something that is gonna happen, sadly, because there's so many possibilities. I can't narrow it down, so I'm not too sure. All I know is that the Krang's gonna invade, and there's gonna be a massive showdown for the last episode.
Okay, well, I think you'll be in for quite a surprise. It's gonna be bigger and better than last season. Hopefully that gives you a bit more hype for it.
Bigger and better than last season.
Yeah, I'll just say that this might be like this is definitely like one of the best episodes from the show, and it's definitely one of the best episodes from the season. And you've like seen some of the episodes they've got from this season, so I feel like you know what kind of episode they're in for.
Okay. Sounds good.
So yeah, if you don't want to go onto the podcast, you can leave a comment on YouTube, Reddit, Anchor, either as a text message or a voice message. But yeah, I've been your host Teddy,
and I've been Hayden,
and we'll see you soon. Goodbye, yo, bye.
Bye.